Sitting here going through this interview is very hard for me because it tears part of my soul just to think about it.
Back in 1985, I had a baby girl. Her name was Brittany Littlejohn. She weighed 8 pounds, I believe. She was my firstborn, my first love, and the first person that loved me back.
My daughter Brittany, who I've been in her life from day one. Brittany, was a challenged child. As in, when I say challenge, Brittany made me work as a dad.
Brittany was a very outgoing person. In school, she was a tough student, but she made it through. Brittany had the biggest heart. She would help anyone that needed something. She would give her all to anyone. On February the 21st, 2017, her boyfriend took her life. Brittany was a fighter. She fought. She would have won if he didn't have a gun.
I can just think, of that day that Brittany was taken from us, that she had called her dad that morning. I mean, super excited. She was happy. She said, Dad, it's like 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm getting ready for work. And she said, Dad, I'm going to move on with my life. I get my key to my apartment today. I pick up my new car today. It was my youngest daughter's birthday, Kennedy, on that day. And she said, I'm taking Kennedy out for dinner for her birthday, Sweet 16 day. And I said, that's great, Brittany. I said, that's great. I mean, super excited. I mean, she was just moving on with her life because she had some difficult times with the guy she was with. And that made me feel good, telling me that she was moving on. And I was so happy to hear that. So happy to hear it. Yeah. And then I get a phone call. My phone just keep on ringing, and it's Brittany's best friend, Taya. And she said, Patrick, you might need to go up to Brittany's house because I think something's going on. I jumped in my company's car, and when I noticed I didn't have any gas in my car, I had to go to the gas tank and get some gas in there. And as I was going to the gas tank, I ran into one of my police officer friends. We spoke, how you doing, Pat? What's going on? I was like, man, I'm going to go up here to the woods and see what's going on. And he gave me the strangest look in the world. And he said, Pat, it was a shooting up there. And at that time, my heart just dropped.
When he shot her, I was at work. I felt lightheaded for a minute. I didn't know why. I went home for lunch, and my son, he was upstairs. He came downstairs crying and told me that Dwayne had shot and killed Brittany. At that time, I knew the feeling I had at work was my part of me leaving with her.
When I got up there, everything was taped off. One of the detectives tried to stop me, and I'm like, hey, I'm trying to find out, is my daughter here? And that's when he said, well, who is your daughter? And I said, Brittany Littlejohn. And he said, well, can you stand here for a second? And I guess he went and got the detective that was on the case, Officer Forney, that I know personally because I work for the city of Akron. And he pulled me into the building and said, Patrick, Brittany's dead.
She gave us 2 beautiful grandchildren that I love so much. And I see so much of her in them. And it keeps me going.
I just told my granddaughter the other day, I said, if you're not my daughter all over again, you know how she look, how she act, how big her heart is. And my grandson, the eyes, his eyes look just like Brittany's. I mean, just like, and it seemed like I'm looking at his eyes, looking at Brittany. I never had a son, have all daughters. I just think, I said, I think Brittany probably said, dang, my dad, I'm going to give my dad a son.
I want to talk about the community of support that we got surrounding what we were going through. My husband talked about that day, and really that day is where it began. So when I got there, I didn't see Patrick, but I did see 2 people from Victims Assistance. At the time, I didn't know they were from Victims Assistance, but I saw Alexandra and Tiffany. And they came and they just stood with me. And I was like, well, what's going on? Where's, my husband said something is going on. I saw the tape and all that. But I just felt Patrick must have had it wrong. It was true. And Tiffany and Alexandra just stood with me while someone explained. She talked about, we're here for you. We're going to be here for the entire process. Here's our card. Here's a pamphlet. Share it with anybody in the family. And so that's what I did. I knew we would need a lot of support because we're a blended family. And Brittany was really the central point to our blend. She's the person that really connected with everyone. We weren't really, we didn't necessarily all communicate with each other, but we all communicated with Brittany. So I knew we would need that kind of support to help everyone get through it. And that's what I basically focus my mind on. Like, I have to help us get through this hole. And I couldn't have done that without really a lot of information, staying on top of it. Alexandra and Tiffany would let us know when the court dates were. They would always call. They were there for everything that we had, every appointment we had. The prosecutor's office would explain it. We would leave, and everyone had a different interpretation of what we heard. And then we could always count on them to help us navigate that process. There was Joe D'Angelo and Joyce in the prosecutor's office. Joyce was really helpful. I think that backbone was really critical to our getting to where we are now and even continuing. And without the support and someone to help us keep going, I don't know that we would have made it through that process. I can't even speak to how wonderful it was to always come to court, see Tiffany, Alexandra, and Pastor Jenkins, and regardless of who else shows up, these people are here. They understand what's going on, and they're going to be with us through the entire journey. I just wanted to really emphasize the appreciation we had for that.
What I have to say about Brittany Littlejohn, words can't explain. A mother's love. She was always happy and giving. We did everything together. She was my best friend.
I would never forget Brittany. Brittany will always be in my day-to-day. So I just want to, cherish all my good times. I want to remember all them days, and I'm going to continue to remember them days about my daughter, Brittany. The glory of Brittany, her 30 years on this earth.